Well, hello, everyone. You know it's Dr. Nick, your favorite personal growth coach, and welcome to another episode of Adulting in My Purpose. You guys know that I'm always excited to be with you every Wednesday, and we are at a new time, right? You know, it's the summertime, it's getting warm. I know you guys want to be out and about, so we're going to move it up a little bit. So we're going to meet now at 8 p.m. rather than 8:30. So make sure you put that in your calendars that we are now at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you all things adulting with Adulting in My Purpose Live. So if you are joining for the first time, hello, welcome out there. If you are a returning watcher and listener, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. You know what to do. Make sure you make sure you share this and subscribe. Tell a friend what we're doing here with Adulting in My Purpose Live. You know, for the first timers and those that out there that don't know me, my name is Dr. Nicole Rankin, better known as Dr. Nick, and I am a certified personal growth coach. And my mission, my calling, my purpose, whatever you want to call it, is really to help young leaders truly discover who they are, help them clarify the vision that God has given them, and develop a plan to get to where they want to go in life. And I do this through a process called Adulting in My Purpose. It's a 7-step process of self-discovery to help them uncover their purpose and really navigate this complex world. So we're excited to do these live shows because we come on every week where we talk about different strategies, give you different tools as young leaders to go out in the world and do your thing and be great and to do the things that you have been called to do. So we have amazing guests that come onto the show. And so I'm excited because on this show, this is another segment of Millennials Making Moves. And you know, I love this segment because we have some amazing young people that are out there in the world just doing some great things, not only for success for themselves, but truly having success and impacting the community and in the world in a major way. And tonight is no different. So I hold a special place in my heart for this one because I've just was told prior to us coming, we were kind of calculating how long I've known her. She said, I've known you when I was in middle school. So she made me feel really, really old. So this is one that's dear to my heart. So I want to welcome to Adulting in My Purpose, Kalauna Carter. And I'll tell you a little bit about her. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So guys, I should say the future Dr. Carter is in the building. Yes. As a native of Portland, Oregon, she is a 2-time graduate of Tuskegee University. So all my Tuskegee people out there, she is one of yours. She has received a bachelor's of science in environmental science and a master's in science in environmental management. And now she is currently working on her PhD in environmental science at FAMU. The girls are bad. She is bad, right? So not only maintaining her scholastic excellence, she has started and now the founder of KolorsbyK nail polishes. It is an FDA approved, environmentally friendly nail polish company. And so where each bottle of nail polish, as well as the colors, is handmade and it's free of non-environmental friendly and cancer-causing chemicals. So KolorsbyK has received international certification from for ethical treatment of animals, Beauty Without Bunnies programs, and the Leaping Bunny program for not using animals in testing her product of or any kind. So it's amazing. So welcome, Kalauna Carter. Dr. Carter, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm thankful for this opportunity to be here and be able to share the little bit that I've learned on my journey this far. So I appreciate you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. So let's dig in and get started and just kind of tell the audience. I know I gave a little bit a glimpse of where you are right now, but take us back to the story. How did you get to where you are in being an environmental scientist and then now an entrepreneur? So tell us that story.
Oh, okay. So the journey of being an environmental scientist is something I kind of like stumbled into. Originally, when I was younger, my parents put me in a lot of different activities that allowed me to see like the different things that I liked, the things that I didn't like, my strengths, my weaknesses. And one of them was, it was a STEM program, but the focus was more so engineering. I was really not that good at math as a child, but I knew I liked learning about the environment, how it worked together, the weather, especially. That was something I always thought that was really interesting. When I was younger, I had the opportunity to travel to some different places, and I couldn't understand why something, I guess it seems so small to others, but like thunderstorms, where I grew up in Portland, we rarely got them. And I was really fascinated by why it was so hot in other areas, but I had a specific interest in that, but my passion was history. And I was like, okay, I knew growing up in Portland that I wanted to go to an HBCU. I had the opportunity to go on an HBCU tour. And on that tour, I had applied to Tuskegee because they had it where you could apply as a junior when you were in high school. And so I applied for their political science program. I was like, I'm going to go study poli-sci and I'm going to get a minor in African American studies. So got ready to go to Tuskegee, got everything in order. And when I got there, so they have these things where they section you off based on the major that you select. And for some reason that day, I ended up going to the completely wrong building, sitting in the wrong session. And it was for agriculture. Wow. I was like, so at the end of the session, my dad went up to the dean and he asked him, hey, I think we're in the wrong place. Can you tell us where the political science department is? And he was like, no, I think you're in the right place. And that day, after that, a conversation happened with the dean of the College of Agriculture, and I changed my major to environmental science.
What an amazing story.
Yeah, that's literally how that came about. It was completely random, but it just so happened I went to the wrong place. Well, maybe it was the right place.
Wow. That is, I don't think I knew that story. That is an amazing story of I would say you guys know I'm a woman of faith, so I don't think anything is coincidence, right? Just how things are kind of your steps are ordered. So you're now into environmental sciences, agriculture. So how did you now go from there to decide that you want to be an entrepreneur?
Well, it didn't really start out that way.
Okay.
I did, when I was in undergrad, I was part of a program with the USDA called the Pathways Program. And it started off as the Student Career Experience Program where they gave us internships every summer in different cities, and they allowed us to get different experiences, learning about the environment, the soils, and different agricultural practices. And so I knew when I graduated that I had a job opportunity. I just wasn't 100% sure about the location at the time. So in 2016, when I graduated with my bachelor's, I thought I kind of went through that post-grad depression where you get so used to being around people all the time and there's always something to do, always someone to talk to, always something going on, to where it was just silence. It was just me, my thoughts. All my friends had gone back home and we were all about to, start our lives officially. And so I kind of went through this thing where after, I guess I'll say this lightly, but suffering for 6 weeks in my post-grad depression, I ended up going back to Portland. And I just remember kind of sitting around thinking like, there has to be more to life than just getting a degree and getting a job. And I had took so many courses, had made so many different connections, had a lot of different leadership positions. And I thought, how can I use my degree in a way that would be helpful to not just myself, but others? Mm-hmm. So I had this idea that I was going to start a mentoring program. I came up with the name for the mentoring program. And this is when hashtags on Instagram had just got popular. So I was like, okay, if I go on Instagram and coin the hashtag, then when I start the mentoring program, I'll be good to go. Well, the name of that program was already taken by someone else. And so I was like, dang it, that's not going to work. So I went back to the drawing board. And at that time, I remembered a few years back in college, I had read in 17 magazine that painting your nails was a natural stress reliever. So when I was in college, I made sure I always painted my nails. Anytime I felt overwhelmed, stressed out, it was the only thing I could do that would actually sit me down, focus, keep me calm if I was, worried about something. And of course I had to be patient, because if you're not patient and you have wet nails, then you mess them up. So I ended up going to a cousin's house, and I was talking to her. And this was shortly after I had made a trip to Walgreens to get some. I think I spent like $60 on, I don't even remember how many bottles I bought. They were about $1.99 a piece, and I spent about $60 on nail polish. I said, this is the only thing I have to look forward to until I can start my job full time. And when I got to her house, she was like, you went to school, took all them classes. You know how much money you could have saved if you knew how to do that by yourself? Mm. And like literally that day she said that, like the light bulb just ding. And that's literally the day that my business went into the drawing board of trying to figure out what I was going to do next and how I was going to start it.
Wow. Again, it seems like your life is really being orchestrated and to do the things that you do. And it's just an amazing thing how, when I talk about adulting in my purpose and finding your purpose, how you just got to try things. You got to take risks and try some new things, get out your comfort zone. And your story is just the thing that just actually it solidifies that. And it's just amazing to see you have gone from when I've known you in, as you politely pointed out, since middle school to where you are now. And it's just amazing just to see the growth and all the great things that you're doing. So let's talk about, you touched on a little bit about some of the challenges that you've had, post grad, and when I hear that, I say, wow, you're not alone, because I know so many young people like yourself are dealing with frustrations of life, of overwhelm, even depression, anxiety, and just trying to figure out, what am I supposed to be doing in this world? So what are some of the biggest challenges you have faced so far in life that you've had to overcome?
That's a good question. So outside of, it's such a, I don't know. I've never really, I guess I am. I don't know. I guess I never really considered myself an entrepreneur. I'm just a scientist that I felt like I just had an idea. And when I came up with it, I wanted to have something, not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but just see how I can make it better. Because I was like, my mom's been getting her nails done my whole life. My sister gets her nails done. I don't want us putting something on our body that's going to make us sick. So how can I do something that would be helpful to not only myself, but other people, other, women, those that wear nail polish. And some of the challenges I faced in that are just trying to find balance between that and my job. So working full time and then trying to run my business full time. I can't pinpoint a specific challenge per se, but that has been a challenge for me. So, because by day, I am a soil scientist, and that involves a lot of, sometimes it involves some intensive field work. It involves keeping track of a lot of data in databases, and it takes a lot of brain power. So that's been the biggest challenge.
That's good. And the thing about it is, when I hear you talk about brings me back to my science background. People know that as a microbiologist, I totally understand, the field and all the work that you're doing on the research side of things. And it goes to show that you think about the gifts and talents that you had, as you pointed out, that you saw a problem, right? And as entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. You see a problem and you find a solution to that problem that's going to benefit the customers that you have. And you're doing that by using the gifts that you have already. And it's an amazing thing that, so even young people who are thinking about even starting a business can see, look at the things that you're already doing and what problem does that solve in the marketplace. I mean, this is a prime example of Dr. Carter, future Dr. Carter, and what she is doing and how she's, working and then starting a business as well. So as millennials, I love millennials, and you guys know this, and I know you guys get a bad rap, right? You guys get a bad rap, and I apologize, right? I apologize for the greater older people that have stigmatized you, but as a young person, you are now in a professional field. One being African-American woman. And I know, again, in that field, we are few and far between. I can remember when I was in the field myself, I didn't see a lot of people that looked like me. And then so now you're a leader in the field, but then not only that, but you're a leader in the business world. So how has being this millennial kind of impacted your life on how people perceive you?
A good question. I definitely think being a millennial, we're seen as a little too optimistic, or our attitude is that, okay, I'll just do something different. I'll change. I'll just go over here and do this. And that's something that structurally in school, I was not told to do. I was told you go to school, we put you in this program, you're going to get this degree, and then this is your career track. Mm-hmm. And so starting my business is completely out of the norm for what I do. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's not something that in regards to the work world, it's not something I share a whole lot because it's seen as so obsolete from what I should be doing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's something that impacts me. But at the same time, it's like, no, I believe in this. It's not hurting anyone. If anything, it's helping. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to just keep, as much as it may be a challenge, I'm just going to keep moving forward with both and see where that goes.
And I love that, because the thing about your generation, you guys are like breaking norms, right? So, previous generations, we were about stability, about the correct path, go get that education, get that job, get that family, it was that kind of straight and narrow. But as I am engrossed with millennials, and just you all are groundbreakers and traditional shakers and out the box thinkers, and you are creating your own path and your own direction. And it's just amazing. So I just encourage you, even though, because I understand how it is in the field that you're in, because you're around people who are older, most of them, and they have an older mentality and thought process about the way things are done. And most of the time it's often, well, we've always done it that way, right? I'm sure we've always done it that way. So here you come now with different ideas and want to do things different. And it's always a challenge with young people, especially in the workforce, because of your out the box thinking. So what do you have to say? What would you say to those seasoned leaders about ways they can effectively engage with millennials and just bridging those gaps of communication and thought processes?
I would say, not in such a demanding way, but I would say, listen to us as millennials. Like, we are in the time right now. And that's I'm not trying to say like anyone who's older, they don't have the same experience, but we are like everything happening around us is affecting everyone. But I feel like as a millennial myself, everything around me is affecting me at a almost like a direct, like, especially in regards to the future. Mm-hmm. And I feel like as millennials, we were brought up, especially those from the year I was born or around it, like we came up with the development of technology. Mm-hmm. And now we're at like the top of what it could be at this time. Mm-hmm. So it's like we have experience and knowledge in different areas because of what our exposure has been. Even those coming behind us, they grew up in the technology era. So that's what they're going to be known for. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like if they would just listen to us, we can provide context on things, how to be more innovative, how to maybe get something done faster. And I feel like it's important to engage us in that way instead of thinking everything has to be done as it always has been. Mm-hmm. 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 I know that's something that I try to like, even in work, like that's something I try to like bring to the table. Like, how can we get this done faster and do it this way instead? I know it's always been done this way, but this way is okay as well.
Awesome. And that is a powerful thing. And I hear that concept. It's simple concept. Just listen and be open-minded from a lot of millennials who are speaking to older leaders in there, especially in the workforce. And just wanting to have that seat at the table and wanting to have a voice. So, you guys are faced with so many challenges. You're in the workforce. You're trying to carve out this professional life and then also this entrepreneur life. And again, I know the best of both worlds myself. So I understand. So what do you do? What is the best way you find to keep yourself motivated? Because there, in both areas, in the professional world and in entrepreneurship, there are high highs, but there are also low lows. So what do you do to motivate and keep yourself engaged?
Right now, that is something that I have to work on daily, because not only do I work full time and have my business, I'm also a full-time student. Mm. And so I have to keep myself personally motivated, and I keep myself grounded with the phrase almost every day that this is temporary. Mm. So that, I know that this is not something that a lot of people do, but I always think with the end in mind. Can it be very pessimistic at times? Yes, because it's like, can we just enjoy the moment? Can we just live for now? But, even when dealing with these stressors and I will say this, I commend anyone who goes after a PhD, because it's not easy. I, should have thought a little bit more, but, it's a challenge. And to keep myself really motivated through these lows. Sometimes there's lows that really come with that. There's lows that come with work, like you were saying, and even entrepreneurship. And I just keep myself rooted in that this is temporary, this is not forever, and it will change, and there's a deadline. Mm-hmm. I like that. I just tell myself that all the time. When I look at my PhD program, I think, okay, today may not have been a good day, but 2023 is the deadline. So, I
love that. 2023, Dr. Carter is coming out.
That is what keeps me going.
I love that. And when you say your phrase, I always say it's a moment in time. It's a moment in time. Everything is a moment in time, because you are on your way somewhere. You are on a destination, a journey, and each phase is kind of a stop on your train towards your destination. So at some point, the doors are going to close and you're going to keep moving, right? So it's an amazing thing just to think about that and hear how you keep yourself motivated. So when you think about, just getting inspiration, who or what inspires you? What is your inspiration?
I pull that from a lot of different areas. I don't necessarily have like one thing or one person, mm-hmm. but she probably, I grew up, like, me and my sister are 11 years apart, and she never really listens to me when I say this, but I tell her I grew up trying to be just like her. Oh. And so, like, trying to like do well in school and like have everything like super organized and excel at work, like all kind of different stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was something that I was like, okay, if Kalia can do it, I can do it too. And then like I took inspiration, you know, from different traits, like from people around me. So just, I guess I would say like I pull inspiration from those that I'm closest from. So like my family,
Mm-hmm.
the seeing the different things that they overcame and how they got to where they are today, and just keeping, really just staying grounded in those things, like the perseverance, the ability to encounter roadblocks and keep moving forward from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because one thing that, and this is what's so interesting to me, is that being an adult is hard, and being an adult comes with a lot of different trials and tribulations and struggles and things that you deal with. And a lot of times, you know, now that I'm getting older, I hear a lot of people say that's life, that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so taking inspiration from those around me and how they move forward when they deal with things, that helps inspire me. It helps with my motivation, because I'm not going to get into it, but I have some people really close to me that have dealt with some really hard things. And to see them keep persevering through it is really inspiring to me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, they can get through that. I know I can get through this. This is school, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's good. That is good, because we all have to, like you said, this adulting thing, it's no joke. It's no joke. When you are coming, especially at your age, when you're transitioning from kind of being a dependent, right, and having some, I guess, fall back to kind of now coming into your own and establishing your own, to truly being an independent person. It's hard work, and there is no blueprint. There is no course manual on this adulting thing. It's a lot of it is on the job training. So being able to tap into others and to have people in your life like your sister that you can look up to, and family that you can use as a support system is an amazing thing. So even thinking about some of the, what is some of the roles like a mentor or coach has played in your life, if any?
My current mentor, she's very encouraging of the things that I'm trying to do. She understands, you know, kind of where I'm trying to go. And she has been, recently, she's been really encouraging in the next phase of my life, because I'm kind of in this little place where I feel like a transition is coming, and I'm in the phase of the transition. And so talking to my mentor about that, she oftentimes says she feels like, gosh, I'm a horrible mentor, because I'm supposed to be encouraging you to do this, but I think maybe you should do this. And so she's currently, you know, she's really, really been helpful. In the past, I've had a lot of different mentors, and it's hard to say like, okay, I don't want to say like I've had like hundreds of them, but I've had several, and all of them have been instrumental in where I am today. And so I definitely am a full advocate for mentorship, especially for myself, and especially for young people who come out of environments like I did, you know, because you grow up in an environment where it's not a whole lot of you, and you want to be able to confide or have someone kind of mentor you in a direction for success, so that you're not left behind, you know.
And I like that. It's great that you talk about that, because as I know, as young people, in that transition, you have a lot of pressure and you feel a lot of pressure. You feel overwhelmed that you have to get it right. You have to get this adult thing right, and you got to get it right now. And you guys kind of put this self-fulfilling prophecy of this stressing and overwhelmed that you think about all the time. And it's so important to, it's okay to know, it's okay to ask for help, right? You don't have to have all the answers right now. You're not alone in this world. And I meet a lot of young people like yourself that are so bent on trying to be this adult right now that they just want to do it by themselves, and they make things harder because they don't want it to seem or it be perceived that they don't have it together, or they are not in this path to greatness or path to success or doing their best, when it's okay, because the reality is, truth be told, if you speak to all the adults in your life and they truly tell you the truth, if they really tell you the tea of what happened in their life, you're gonna be like, what? Right? So because a lot of times we put up this wall and we put up this facade, and then we say, well, you go be great, and we don't give you the ups and the downs and tell this life is going to be hard. You are going to hit roadblocks, you're going to hit failure, you're going to hit challenges, but you can push through it. So I love the fact that you're open enough to say that you rely on your mentors. So guys, if you are out there, know it's okay. Get some help. Get whatever you need. If it's mentors, is it coaching, even therapy, just to be able to talk to someone through this process as you are adulting. So I thank you for sharing that with our audience. So, Kalauna, you are going through things. You are in full-time job, full-time student, full-time entrepreneur. And so, give us just like one or two things that help you move forward in your journey. Like, what do you do?
I try to stay positive as much as possible, because definitely you touched on something earlier. I know for a fact that being a microbiologist, you understand some of the things that I deal with without being said, and trying to stay positive and understand that it's going to be just fine. You're okay. Everything is fine. And the fact that I know where my business can be, and that keeps me rooted in why I keep working on it and keep investing in it and keep putting myself in these accelerator programs to try to get it to the next level. Not necessarily to be this mogul millionaire or, but just to keep, I started it, I believe in it, and I know what it can grow to be. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And I know it'll all come together eventually, So the advice that I would give someone is, don't necessarily, like I said earlier, the thing that keeps me motivated is just being mindful of the timeline. The timeline may not never falls into what we want it to. So I could tell you, it'll take me 2023, might be 2025. But the fact that I have a goal in mind and I'm working toward that, I know that there's a possibility that it's very attainable. Mm-hmm. So I would just say, tell someone, hey, like, write your goals down, think about when you want to accomplish them, but don't put pressure on yourself. And at the same time, understand that we can have our own time. We have our own deadlines and stuff, but God has his own too. And anytime we set our own timeline, he says, yeah, that's cool, but this is really the way that we're going to go. And so I just try to remember, it's like, I'll set the goal for myself, set the timeline, but also I have an understanding that this may not pan out exactly the way I thought. And that is okay too, because if it doesn't, let's just say I go after an opportunity and it's not given to me, that's okay, because that means if I thought that was the best opportunity, that means that there's something better coming, for sure. And so that's what I would tell, that those are the one or two things that, well, those are like more like 3 or 4 things that
it was all good. It was all good.
That continue to help me move forward in my journey. This is not easy. And if someone had told me this, I'm not even gonna say 5 years ago, I'll say 2 to 3, I would have never believed them. So
those are all great things. You talked about setting goals. You talked about not only setting goals, but being flexible with the plan, because knowing that, you can set a goal, but life happens. And it may take you on a different journey. I use this example in all of my courses and my classes with young people. It's the analogy of a GPS, and thinking of, the 2 places that you put into a GPS is your destination, your current location and your destination. And it's when you have those 2 steps, that's when you get the details of how to get there. But even if you go off course, right? Go off course and you can go miles in the wrong direction. But as you said before, starting with the end in mind, you have that goal. But then at some point it goes just like the GPS, reroutes, and you get back on track. And it's okay. It's okay. My mentor always says, have a goal, but be flexible with the plan. Never give up the goal. Never give up that dream. Never give up that vision, that goals that you have. But be flexible with the plan. And like you said, as a spiritual woman that I know you are, the Bible says that a man plans his steps, his ways, but God orders his steps, right? So, the joke is you tell God what you want him to do, right?
And that is so true, because that was something that, in transparency, that's something that I struggle with, is understanding that you're going to have failures. Things are going to go wrong. Everything is not going to go right. And a part of me had gotten to a place of where it was like, everything I just set out, I accomplished. Everything just worked out. And, that may have been at that present time. But as I went through different struggles academically, through entrepreneurship, and even with work, I've realized that those failures or those getting those setbacks or those trials you go through they actually help for the future. I can't sit here and not tell you that the things that I went through didn't make me better. 100%. Especially in regards to perspective.
Yeah. And it's great that you bring that up, because, a lot of times when we think about all the things that we've been through, because they may have been painful, they may have been a source of resentment or anything like that, and we try to kind of minimize them, brush them under the rug, and not really truly evaluate them as how, it can improve you as a person and improve strengthen you, give you resilience. We've seen this through the pandemic, the impact of the pandemic, of how resilience was built in a lot of areas. So, I commend you for your transparency, and thank you for sharing that. It's not all a bunch of roses, right? It's great when that happens. And those are the high moments of life, but there are the valley lows. And life is not guaranteed that it's always going to be happy, but we know that when we go through those valley times, that they are to prepare us, they're to strengthen us, and they're helping us to become the people that we need to be for the season that we're going in. So it's I commend you for the strength that you have and the transparency that you are sharing, that it's not easy, and you yourself go through those lows, but you do what you need to do to keep pushing forward. So with that being said, me as a personal growth coach, this is what I help young people do to help you find the strength and find the fortitude to keep pushing forward. So what do you do? What are some of the things that you do for your own personal growth and development? What does that look like for you?
Personal growth and development. It's a good question. For me, a lot of my personal growth and development has come from doing the wrong thing or trying something and it goes wrong, and then saying, okay, now I know how to do this. From an entrepreneurship standpoint, I have, not in the past, but I've invested and tried to put myself in place to for opportunities to develop myself as an entrepreneur. So one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm part of the Fearless Funds Accelerator Program. And that has helped me develop professionally and helped me really, really reevaluate and it's helped me reevaluate and also reorganize how I want my business to look, the perception, excuse me, that I want it to give to others, and how I want it to move forward. And so that program, and putting myself, I got the opportunity to participate in that program, but allowing myself the time to participate in that has really been instrumental in my development as an entrepreneur. I do a lot of different trainings at my job to hone my skills. So this is just me sharing, like, I've got I've recently taken a digital soil mapping certification course, a spatial analysis course, a art studio course. These are different programs that we use at work for data collection, to create maps, and to help us alleviate the intensity that comes with doing field work in high heat temperatures or adverse weather. So really trying to hone my skills there in order to continue to move up in that area. And with school, the biggest thing I'm doing for my own personal development is learning how important those connections are. I will say this, I knew the importance of them in undergrad. I got a better concept of it when I was in grad school, but at this level, it's really, really important to network and have solid connections in order to make your journey that much easier. I don't think that's the right word, but smoother.
I say easier, smoother. It helps. It helps when you are connected with people who are doing what you want to do, that have the skill sets, and then are willing and open to share it with you, right? Because it helps you get to where you want faster and easier, right? Because you can avoid a lot of the pitfalls that you would do on your own, because you can learn from them. Right. And so it helps you. I like that. So we talked about personal development, in business development. So what do you do for like self-care and to keep yourself together and grow yourself?
So for my personal self-care, and this can be like anything, right?
Yeah. Anything you want to share.
Well, I like, of course, my nails and my toes, like getting painting them. And recently, like, I've really gotten into like skincare.
Okay.
Yes. So that not myself. I'm not making any skincare products, but every day, like, I try to, throughout the week, taking care of my skin has been like, that is what brings me complete peace, because I've been seeing my skin clear up, and seeing my skin clear up from like hyperpigmentation has been like a thing for me. So like, doing face masks or like steam treatments or trying a new serum, like all of that kind of, and then, playing, I have a video game I like to play. I like to play The Sims 4.
What is that?
The Sims 4.
Sims 4. Okay. I'm not hip on the video games. That's something else I got to learn.
It's a simulation game, and I designate a few hours every week to to just play my game. It's like mindless thinking, but it just helps me decompress.
Yeah. I like that. And, whatever that works for you. And we talked about this a few episodes ago when we had our mental health expert on, and they were just sharing that, find something, like you said, that mindless activity that brings you joy, and that brings you happiness. You want to, life, especially as young people. Yes, you're focusing on that career path or what that professional life looks like, because you have to get financially stable, right? That's the key, getting financially stable. So you're focused on that, but you want to be in the present as well. You want to be able to enjoy the life that you have and find the things that you like to do. I remember when I was in your position and I was in school and I was working full time and I was there, and somebody will ask me, well, what is it that you like to do? And I'm like, crickets, right? Literally crickets. Like, I had no clue as to who I was or what I like to do that was outside of work. So, I had to go on my own personal journey in that and find me, find myself, and find the things that I love to do. And do it. So I love the fact that you have found that and use that to just decompress and of things. And video games, I'm gonna have to look that up too. See what that's about.
I mean, it really helped me though, because
I love it.
I use my brain like all day.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't even want to look at the computer. I don't even know what's happening outside of work, school, or okay, I got to do this for my business.
Yes.
But playing the game, it's like I don't even have to worry about it. The game takes care of itself. I just turn it on. It's like it does it for itself, and I'm just here, just okay. Let me change this outfit, like just because it's hard when you have so much on your plate. It's so hard to find, time to find time for yourself. I remember at a point in time when I used to read books like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like having to read these articles, and then they're like 50 pages. Someone's going to ask you some questions about them. It's like I don't even have time to like read a book of leisure, at this moment. So yeah, the
game does it for you.
I had to find something. I had to.
And guys out there listening, you find something that you like, whatever that is to help you with the stress, to help you just decompress. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, as we wind around, I want to know some few things, with your generation, with young people. I talk to them, and it's kind of a characteristics of your generation that you all really want to live a life of purpose and live that significant life where you're making an impact. So what are some of the things that you kind of do for your community, or social justice or social change? What are some of the things that you are involved in?
Well, for my business, I've held workshops. So in the local community here, I've held workshops where I've had young elementary and middle school age girls come, and we do like a nail polish workshop. Awesome. But I explain to them the benefits of using healthier nail polishes on their bodies, as well as healthier skin care products in general. Mm-hmm. And my goal is to, when I have those workshops, is to get them started young. So then as they grow older, it'll be it can be something they think about twice, or, possibly share with someone else that may be dealing with some sort of health issue that could possibly not necessarily be alleviated or cured, but, they could be, if they're using nail polishes that are not healthy for them, maybe using a healthier one could be helpful to them.
That is awesome, because it's all about exposure. And these are things that especially in different communities, it's not very common to see a scientist that looks like you and has that type of knowledge. So that is tremendous. So congrats on that. I applaud you on pouring into our younger generation, because that's what it's going to take to help them kind of just see possibilities, right? They never knew a beautiful scientist that looked like them, and now they do, right? So it's like, wow, can do it. I can do it too, and I can own my own business. I could go to school and I could work it, you know. So amazing. I love that. So you talked about your business. Let's hone in right there for the last few minutes. Tell us about your business and let us know how do we get in touch to be able to purchase your product.
Okay, so my business is KolorsbyK. It's an environmentally friendly, FDA approved nail polish company. Each of my nail polishes are 10 free. Typically, nail polishes are comprised of about 10 chemicals that have been studied to have cause health impacts on us. So formaldehyde resins, dibutyl and toluene are just a few of the ones that have been known to be detrimental to our health. You can find all of my products at KolorsbyK.com. I have top coat, gel polish, nail strengthener. I have nail files. I have pumice stones for your feet. I have little bags. So if you order multiple nail care products, you can put them in this little like manicure bag. I have dip powders, which are super popular. I like to wear the dip. And yeah, my nail polishes they have very little scent to them. So, and I have over 80 colors. So there's a color for everyone to choose from.
Awesome. I love that. So you guys out there, go and support. Go and support at KolorsbyK.com for all your manicure, pedicure needs. I know you all like to go and support the local nail salon, but now you can do this stuff on your own at affordable rate and enjoy the process of your self-care with over 80 colors. This is amazing. So make sure you go and support Kalauna at KolorsbyK.com. And if people want to follow you or reach out to you on social media, how could they do that?
They can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at the same name, KolorsbyK with a K.
Awesome.
I want to just one last thing. I pride myself on my products because they're all handmade by me. And so each nail polish, cuticle oil. Oh yes, I have cuticle oil that has a light scent of lavender. And my dip powders are all handmade with love by me. So
I love it. So guys, go ahead and support KolorsbyK.com. Get all your nail care need and support this Millennial Making Moves. It has been an honor and a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Again, I am so proud of you. As I was sharing with the audience, you hold a dear part of my heart since I've known you since you were in middle school, and now to see you and see all the great things that you're doing, know that I am so proud of you. And the best is yet to come. God is continuing to move and grow you. And I loved your vision, and I remember us talking about it at your sister's birthday for the boys, and we had a long conversation. So just from that point on to where you are, I'm just ecstatic to see where God is going to continue to take you. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing all the golden nuggets, sharing your stories, sharing your tips, and definitely want to support you and your business. So we're going to close out with the final question that I ask all the guests at Adulting in My Purpose. And so that question is, what does adulting in my purpose mean to you?
Adulting in my purpose means to me, I feel that certain things have been put in front of me and certain things have been placed on my heart. And one of them is I have a natural care for the environment and how everything around us affects us. And I also have a love for like women's health, the health of people in general, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
And my purpose over the last few years is taking my passion for the environment and this need I feel, not to necessarily from a medical perspective, because I'm not a doctor, but just like this care of health in general for people, because there's so much that happens around us that we don't know or really understand how it affects us, and trying to combine the two of those. And so I feel like I am, through the trials and tribulations and through everything that comes with this, the challenges, like this is me adulting in my purpose. Combined, because I'm still figuring it out today, you know, like, but I feel like I'm in my purpose and it's being structured like the way it should be. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's something I'm learning daily.
Yeah.
And so I feel like adulting in my purpose is learning for me has been learning what I want to do, and then also taking my passions and combining those, and then using those to be helpful to others.
I love it, because that is totally what adulting in my purpose is all about. Adulting in my purpose is a movement to help young leaders just like yourself discover who they are, what their passion is about, who are they going to help, how to put that all together, and to just carve out that life that you desire. So you described that perfectly. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Again, audience, you know I bring the best for the best, and this night was no different. So you guys, we will be back next week. I believe it's my time to come and share with you on next week. You guys know that I come on the first Wednesday, and then the month is filled with more amazing guests, more amazing millennials, more amazing experts that are here for you to help you in the process of adulting. So join us next week at our new time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, you guys be safe and be blessed. Dr. Carter, thank you so much
for having
your time. Absolutely. Guys, you all have a good night. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.